Hey there everyone, it's AJ Van Rixel and it is time for another video. And in today's video, I'm not going to be tackling just one challenge. I am going to be tackling two challenges. That's right, in one illustration I am going to be tackling two different challenges from two different Discord servers. I mentioned before that I'm part of a Discord server called the Art Room, which is run by Hello Alice and Jellybee over on YouTube. And yeah, so they've started doing a monthly prompt challenge. You saw the video that I did a few weeks back with regards to the Fun in the Sun challenge, and this is my answer to the underwater challenge that they set for this time. I actually managed to get started and doing this on in one day, which I'm really happy with, and I chose to go into doing it with Prismacolor pencils. The other challenge that I have undergone with this is the Doodleshapes challenge by A4Man Artist. You can check out his channel in the link below. And he does this sort of random shape type thing. This one happened to be a circle. And the aim is to do like a sketch within an hour. So as you can see up at the top, there is a bit of a timer. And I have timed myself doing this particular sketch. Hopefully you will enjoy. So with the theme of underwater, I was kind of thinking about what I could do for this and to make it look interesting. It's quite difficult to do an underwater sort of illustration. And then I thought of doing a sort of illustration involving the white whale and Captain Ahab. I thought to myself, what if he did actually manage to capture that white whale instead of killing it, and then he kind of put it on show underwater, and it was sort of like an underwater aquarium type thing, and with the sort of submarine-y style metal sheet walls and things like that. So that's kind of what I did there, and the window was the circle, which is part of the doodle shapes, as you can see. So I started off with the circle, and then I wanted to do it a sort of a story type thing where it's starting to crack. Maybe the white whale has finally had enough of being shown off to the paying members of the public and has decided to crack through the wall and teach Captain Ahab the lesson after it took its leg the first time. So with that, I thought I'd do Captain Ahab holding some sort of harpoony type thing and running with his peg leg in the opposite direction. I'm not sure how far he would get with that, but I thought it would look quite fun aesthetic. I'm quite happy with the pose of Captain Ahab on this. I think I could have done a bit better, but I was kind of still learning about poses and things, and I'm just getting used to that sort of thing. But I think there's enough motion in there so that you understand what's going on. I then decided to do it so that there was a bit of a frame with it, and you could see Captain Ahab running away from the wall there and getting and trying to save himself, basically. Stop the clock so that Pandora would get a bit of fuss and things. It happened to be feeding time as well, and we can start the clock again. So yes, that is kind of the sort of hour-long sketch session that I did, and that's what I came up with for the idea there. And I'm really happy with how the sketch turned out with that, and I quite like the look and feel of it, and particularly like the whale. I think the eye might be a little bit too big, but who knows? Has anybody ever seen a white whale like in the story? I don't know, but yeah. So that's what I came up with there. And we are just coming up to the time now for the colouring. So with regards to the colouring, as I said, I decided to use Prismacolor pencil, and I did a bit of a swatch at the side, as you can see, to do that. Now, I didn't want to do this directly on the paper that I used to do the initial sketch, so I scanned it in on the computer and printed it out with a little bit darker, and then printed it out and did that. So I've started like layering like some lighter blues and things around the edges where it'd be maybe a bit darker and you probably can't really see it. I wanted to kind of do the background first, which was obviously outside the window, and then bring it forward. So I started off inside the circle, made sure that was how I wanted it to be, and made it kind of like sharp and stuff. I do go back in there eventually, but yeah, I'm just quite happy with how this turned out, and I quite like the sort of way I managed to get the whale to look in there as well. I'm quite happy with the eye as well on this, with regards to like how I've managed to get the detail and stuff. I used grey tones and a light bluish tone for the whale's body itself, and I used a yellowy sort of colour for its like pupil, just because I felt that it would be looking into a room where there was like maybe a bit of light and stuff, so it would might be reflected in there. But I quite like how that turned out, and I thought it was quite an interesting sort of different look of an eye, because normally the eyes are a bit of a dark colour, but I thought it'd be interesting if it was yellow, and it added a bit of contrast to there. Once I had done the inside of the circle, I then moved on to the panelling of the wall and the round circle bit for the sort of, I don't know what it's called, the frame of the window. I wanted to kind of do like a sort of steampunky type style thing with this, and I used two different grey tones to get this, where I did like a light shade of the lightish one first, and then added a bit of detail in with the other one, and then blended that back in with the light again. And I'm quite happy with how this turned out, using the darker grey as a shadow. I then moved on to like just doing a rough outline with a black Prismacolor pencil, which again I'm quite happy with. Pandora comes back and attempts to help me. Eventually I managed to get her to go away so I can finish the piece off. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for with this, and as I say, I'm happy with how this turned out as well. I think I've done a pretty decent job getting the different shades and stuff. With regards to the metal paneling, I managed to do a bit of sort of rusty type thing as well. Maybe it wasn't all that great to begin with, and yeah, so I did a bit of rusty coloured with a bit of a sort of reddy coloured pencil, and then blended that in with the grey, and I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I'd done something similar with watercolours, which worked quite well with that, and I'm quite again happy with how that turned out. For the water that was coming out from the glass, I made sure that I remembered to do that over the thing, and I accidentally did it over Captain Ahab's hand and forgot to do the hand, but I managed to kind of fix it. So moving on to doing Captain Ahab, I quite like how that came out, and sort of it's kind of like a sort of, I don't know what the sort of style is, I'm just rambling now for a bit, but yeah, that's how it kind of is for that, and I'm quite happy with how he turned out, his posture and the colours that I used. I really like the hat, actually. The hat is something that I'm really happy with. And yeah, so here I'm doing Captain Ahab now with a bit of skin tones and stuff for that. Unfortunately, I get in the shot a couple of times on this video. I think I need to find a better place to position my camera, but hopefully you don't mind seeing my long hair. So it took about obviously an hour or so to do the sketch, and then it took about an hour to do the colouring in, so overall it took about 2 hours, and I'm just really happy with how this overall thing turned out, and I'm glad that I took part in this challenge. So please, if you liked this video, please click on the like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe by hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified of when more videos are coming out. Also, please be sure to share this if you think somebody else might like it. So until next time, ta-ra!